Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought we'd take a little trip back into the breeding facility where I can talk a little bit about the updates that have been going on in this building, and then of course talking a little bit about the animals you guys have been asking quite a bit about. Of course, the two that you guys have been asking the most about being the Tegu and the Chinese water dragon. We're just doing some quick updates on them, letting me know, how these guys have been doing, what's been going on, and what's going on for the videos in the future. Before we get into those guys, we're going to take a little trip slightly sideways and talk about the Mexican black king snakes. So for those of you that follow us on Facebook at dbcb exotics, you'll already know a little bit about this, but I figured I'd make a little YouTube video about it anyway. So of course in one of those pictures that I posted, we actually got our first mating pair of the crested gecko, so breeding season is finally a go. We got confirmed they did the deed. And then remove the male, so I'm going to give him a few days to rest, of course, then start pairing him with some of the other females. But the other most important thing that happened last week was, of course, the Mexican black king snake. I finally brought the male out of brumation. These guys went down in Thanksgiving, where they have not had a meal and were cooling down for, of course, breeding in 2020, and the male has finally been brought up. I actually just fed him a meal the day after, so usually I stick him out. It was Saturday, so I stuck him out on Saturday, and then brought the temperatures up a little more, gave it another day, brought him up a little more, and then gave him his first meal, and he ate right away, which was awesome. It was a little bit touch and go, he kept striking at it, he wasn't biting it, which I was kind of like, come on, eat, and he finally took the meal, and now he's, of course, in his hide, getting heat to digest it. It was really awesome to see because after all the reading I've done, of course, so for some of you guys, you already know, this is my first year breeding Mexican black king snakes, and I know that during breeding season, the males can sometimes go off of food when wanting to pair, so it was really nice being able to get that first meal into them. For those reasons, why sometimes they could be picky eaters when breeding season. I did bring the male at first. I wanted to make sure I at least get 1 or 2 meals into them, and then a couple days from now, because it's already been a few days, I'm going to pull the female up and start feeding her, and then we can see it on to the breeding. That's pretty much all the updates on that pair. It's really awesome to see him out. I realized, like, oh my god, I've actually really missed these king snakes. I haven't seen them in November, December, January, and now we're in February, so around 3 months. And I just realized, after you don't see those animals for a couple months, you're like, wow, I forgot how gorgeous these guys are. He did awesome. I've checked them, weekly, but of course they did not lose any weight. That was like my biggest fear because I've never actually artificially cooled down animals, if that makes sense. Usually the animals that go into brumation are just do it organically, like my bearded dragons or my Tegu, so actually cooling snakes down was a first for me, and the anxiety and the nerves were they were pretty up there, I'll be honest, so it's awesome to see that it went smoothly and I had no issues. Moving on from them, let's get to the stuff that everyone wants to know about, and first we'll be talking about Hobbs the Tegu. And man, everyone wants to know how Hobbs is doing. I get so many questions on my live streams. When are those Tegu videos coming? When are you gonna make more Tegus? Let's see Hobbs. No one knows that my Tegu's name's Hobbs. I just said the Tegu, but we'll get there. Come on, guys. It's Hobbs. The Tegu is Hobbs. So as far as an update on when those videos are gonna be made, he's still asleep. Yeah. I'll just give a little update on him. He's not dead. He's literally, I don't know. He sleeps forever. I think he went down at around October, so it's been October, November, December, January, February. We're on month 5. We probably got another month to go, at least if we're judging by last year's brumation. He went for the full 7 months, so yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. Of course, the Tegu being my dream animal, the one I sought after for years and years, so I finally got my own place and I had enough room and I finally bought him. These 7-month brumation times are a real killer to me. Especially devastating when I see some YouTubers still being able to film their Tegus. It's like, god damn it, why is his Tegu awake and mine sleeps for 7 months? Come on. Anyway, I figured we'd open the tent up and I'll show him, he's still sleeping. I'll confirm that he is sleeping. I'm not just procrastinating and not making videos about the Tegu. Now those lights actually are on. I don't have the UVB on, but I have the full spectrum lighting and one of his floodlights on. I wanted to start slowly raising the temperatures from, it probably stays around 63 without any heat in here. Of course, most of my animals have some sort of heating, like heat pads and stuff like that, but as a constant stays at around the 60 to 64 degrees. So slowly bring that up with one floodlight. The temperature in there is around 69 to 71, 72. So hopefully that slow rise in temperature will kind of kick him out of the brumation so I can, see my Tegu. But alrighty, let's just take a little view of what's been going on. So he's still in the 6x3x3 tent. He'll probably stay in here until 2020, and then maybe 2021 after he's roommated, he might be a little bigger, and we'll, you know, upgrade him to a bigger size. So he's always under this bark right here. I'll just do a little bit of this. And there he is. He's cute. He's flinching and sleeping. Little Hobbs. I'll put you back to bed, bud. Well, there you guys have it. You got a little sneak peek of Hobbs. Hopefully that keeps you guys satisfied until next month, probably. Maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later when he wakes up. Of course, when he wakes up, I promise you that'll be the first video that I'll be doing. But let's switch things up a little bit and move slightly to the right where we'll be checking out the Chinese water dragon. And then here we have the Chinese water dragon's enclosure right behind me. Now, he's been doing great. I know, you know, I made like a short 10-second, maybe 20-second clip on him, and then I haven't shown him off since. It's because he's been going through quarantine, and I don't really, you know, I just wanted to leave him be, make sure that he's nice and healthy, he's feeding, and it was pretty hands-off for those, the X amount of time that he was in quarantine. But so far, I've seen no issues with him. He's been eating great, his fecals are good, and just no any signs that he might be in any illness or anything like that. So I figured it was finally time to get him out of the quarantine enclosure into the big boy setup and make a video about him. I know you guys have been wanting to see a little bit more about him. He is amazing as far as the Chinese water dragon goes. I know my first experience I had years back, they were not that nice. Although they were juveniles, or this one's more of the subadult to adult, my Chinese water dragons were not good. They were very flighty. I tried taming them, but of course I didn't know much about reptiles back then, so maybe I just wasn't doing stuff right. I can't really remember, but it didn't go that well, and they were kind of more of a display animal to me versus an animal that I could take out and hang out with. But this guy is totally different. I can hold him, he hangs out, he's still pretty active, and he like moves around and stuff, but it's not like he's like jumping and sprinting away trying to get away from me. He's a pretty relaxed guy. So I figured we take him out, we'll do some hand feeding, you know, take him out, have him crawl around a little bit, talk a little about how awesome he is, because he's pretty awesome. And then about the stuff I'll be doing, just a heads up before we get into that enclosure, it is not set up at all yet. Of course, I was going to do a video about it, as you guys know. So it's the bare minimum of what I have. I pretty much took all the bare necessities out of the quarantine enclosure, and I set him up in here. So it's just a couple branches, water bowl. I have a bunch of stuff in that I plan to upgrade, but as far, I just wanted to get him into the larger enclosure. And then I figured, you know, make a little video about all the guys since I'm already in here. Alrighty, and here he is, just as beautiful as ever. This guy has been amazing, like I said, no issues or anything like that. Right now I have him set up in a 3x3x5 grow tent where he'll stand most of his days. He might get an upgrade eventually. He's a little shy of the camera, but as you can see, you know, no issues with him. He still has this beautiful, you know, full tail, and yeah, beautiful animal. Let's see if we can, we'll do some hand feeding off of us. But that doesn't mean that we can't take him out and talk a little bit about him. So as you can see, like, he just chills, man. I mean, this is like the best Chinese water dragon that I've ever gotten. Like I said, from like past experiences, you know, it's been not as good as this. They've been very jumpy and flighty, but this guy just kind of hangs out, you know, does a little exploring. But what do you see? Is it the worms? Do you want the worms? So as far as videos go, I do have a few planned already that I want to be doing with them. Of course, the first one that is going to be the full enclosure tour when I have that all set up. Then eventually I'll be making some, like, you know, how I care for them, a little care guide, because those seems to do pretty well. You guys seem to know about how I take care of my animals. Other than that, he will be in some of my series. You know, does a Chinese water dragon make a good pet? It's actually, is the Chinese water dragon a great pet for? I haven't decided. You know, it's a new series, you know, give me a break. Other than that, it'll probably be, you know, my 5 reasons why they're awesome. I just got a couple things. planned for this guy. But yeah, if there's anything else, you know, that I didn't want that you guys think would make a great video, definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. You know, I'm really up for anything when it comes to, you know, free content ideas. Where are you going? Alrighty, looks like he's about ready to head back into his enclosure, so we're gonna put him back. And then of course, as the title suggests, I'll wrap it up by talking a little bit about there's been a slight change of plans. Well, that change of plans has a lot to do with whatever's residing in this quarantine tent right here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. So, as a lot of you guys, I get a lot of my, you know, questions and comments on my live streams. Of course, if anyone isn't already know about my live streams, I do them every Thursday at 6 p.m. Usually I have Professor Herb as a guest. I'm trying to also do a weekend one. I don't know how often that'll be, but yeah, anyway. For my live streams, I've mentioned in one of my live streams that I am also going to be starting gargoyle breeding this year in 2020, and a lot of you showed a lot of positive feedback, and you guys really wanted to get some gargoyle babies for me, but for those people, I have a little bit of bad news. The gargoyle project is actually going to be pushed either into 2021, or if I sell enough babies of like my cresteds and end up getting a female breeder, it might be later in the season of 2020. Now there's a couple of reasons for this, number one being, the big one being that one, but also just something to add on what came to this decision was because my male is not very, so let me backpedal a little bit. So I had a female all lined up. She was 50 grams, she's beautiful, a nice blotchy red, or a nice big red striped female. It was gorgeous, you know, it was gonna cost me a little bit, but it was a gorgeous female. And with 50 grams, right now I only have my male weighing in at around 24. Now that was like a month ago, so we might be up to like, I imagine like 28, 29 now, maybe a little less, I don't know. He's not above 30 grams, I know that for sure. And having with gargoyle breeding, for people that don't know, it can get pretty intense, and you really want your breeding pairs, the male and the female, to be pretty identical in weight. Now with the weight gap between these two animals potentially being so far apart, I really would rather just not do it. I was already going to hold off until the male gained enough weight where I felt comfortable pairing them, where nothing, you know, it would just be safely done and I wouldn't run into any issues. Now, that was the plan, but then I went to New England Reptile and I took a tour of their facility. Yes, they had a President's Day tour. My fiance's never been, so we just had to go. As soon as we got out of work, we rushed right on over there. It's about an hour away from us, and we were able to take it. And of course, during that tour, I saw that they had for sale the one thing that I could not resist. It was just doomed from the start, you know, going to New England Reptile where they have all these amazing animals, me having a chunk of change that's just in my savings account ready to be spent. I mean, what did you expect was gonna happen? Oh, but Dakota, you know, what animal did you get? Well, what do you think? What is Kevin McCurley known for? Well, it's not a water monitor. I'll say, water monitors are illegal. I totally have a water monitor. It's close to a water monitor, I'll give that hint. But yes, so the gargoyle project is going to be put on hold until further notice. I got a tough call to make. I actually got to call my buddy and be like, hey, sorry, I bought this instead of your gargoyle. We were waiting on shipping. That was the real issue. If the weather was better, I probably would have the gargoyle and not this guy. But you know, destiny, man. The weather was like, hey, it's too cold to ship, so get this instead. You know. Yeah, I got a tough call. I gotta tell him. You know, maybe I can work out some trade. I do have some like crocodile skinks, and well, I have a crocodile skink baby. I don't have like skinks, but maybe I can barter with him some trades and some cash on top that I can scrap together and still get that gargoyle. But a lot's up in the air as far as the gargoyle breeding project. All right, Dakota, let's see him. You know, take him out. You know, let's see what this brand new purchase is. About that. You guys are gonna have to wait a bit. I am so sorry. I know I've done this twice now. People are probably getting a little pissed off. This will probably get some more dislikes than the other video. But you know, to be fair, the animal is in quarantine. I'm not gonna be taking him out, showing him off, anything like that. Due to it coming from such a highly reputable business like New England Reptile, and just the evaluation that the quick evaluation I've given. You know, people people are quarantine snobs, you know, not to get I don't know. The animal looks good, he looks healthy, he's moving healthy. There's all signs of a healthy animal coming from a reputable breeder. He won't be in quarantine very long. I just like, even coming from the most reputable place, I have so many animals, I don't want to take any risks, so he just goes in at least for a couple of weeks for monitoring, making sure that the poops are good, he's eating great, and all of that. But on the flip side, I did just feed him today and he ate great, so you know, it's in the right direction. It's an amazing dude. But yeah, you know, all I'll give away is that this is the dream animal that really I just feel like my collection's been missing this entire time. It's felt empty without it, but now that, you know, it's back and we have, I don't want to give too much away. You know, surprises are fun. You know, watch the video till the end. Oh fuck, man, people are gonna start rioting, I swear. Alright guys, but that's about gonna wrap the video. Let me know how it was. You gotta see the Tegu a little bit. I handled the Chinese water dragon. What more could you want? I can't just give all the things away. But if you liked the video, please feel free to give us a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of my animals or breeding products, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at dbcb exotics. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.